Let me ask you something that might change how you see every crisis. What if the noise, the chaos, the explosions weren't the problem? What if your reaction to them was the problem? Here's what the silent warrior knows that you don't. You cannot control the chaos. You can only control your relationship with it. Most people hear an explosion and they become the explosion. Heart rate spikes, thinking narrows. Panic sets in. They don't observe the chaos. They become the chaos. The silent warrior does something different. He steps behind a glass wall. He watches the mayhem from a distance. He observes it as data, not as a threat. And while everyone else is reacting, he is calculating today. I'm going to show you the silent warrior mindset, cold detachment. The observer perspective, the architecture of a deliberate strike, not to become emotionless. To become effective when emotions are useless. Let's go in special forces. And in every elite military unit on the planet. They train something most people have never heard of, tactical detachment. The ability to separate yourself from the chaos. To watch it from behind an invisible wall. Here's how it works. You imagine a thick glass wall between you and the mayhem. You can see the explosions. You can hear the screams. You can feel the pressure. But the glass wall protects. You not physically. Psychologically, the chaos becomes data. Information. Input. Not a threat. Not an emergency. Not something that demands an emotional response. Just data. Here's what the military knows that most people never learn. The threat is not the threat. Your perception of the threat is the threat. A bullet flying past your head is just a piece of metal moving through air. It becomes terrifying when you interpret it as, I'm going to die. The operator doesn't eliminate the interpretation. He observes it. I notice that I feel fear. That's interesting. Now, what does the mission require? That's the glass wall. That's tactical detachment, and it's not something you're born with. It's something you train. Let me break down the actual mechanism. 2 parts, both trainable. Part 1, the glass wall technique. When chaos hits, you imagine a thick glass wall between you and the event. You can see everything. You can hear everything, but nothing can touch you. Not physically, emotionally, from behind. The glass wall, you observe what's happening. What's the threat? What's the mission? What needs to be done? You are not reacting. You are observing. And then you are acting. Part 2, calculated indifference. This is the advanced version. Not ignoring distractions. Acknowledging them and choosing not to engage. I notice the screaming. I choose not to react. I notice the chaos. I choose to focus on the mission. I notice my fear. I choose to act anyway. Calculated indifference is not suppression. It's selection. You are not pretending the chaos doesn't exist. You are choosing what deserves your cognitive energy. And most things do not deserve it. Here's the secret. Your cognitive energy is finite. Every distraction steals from the mission. The untrained person reacts to everything. The phone buzzes, they check. Someone shouts, they look. A crisis erupts, they panicked out, their energy is scattered. Their focus is fragmented. Their effectiveness is destroyed. The silent warrior protects his cognitive energy, like ammunition. He does not waste it on things that do not serve the mission. Once you have achieved cold detachment, you can execute the deliberate strike. Part 1. Eliminate fidget movements. Most people waste energy on micro movements. Tapping fingers. Shifting weight. Looking around. Adjusting clothing. Clearing throats. These are not harmless. They are leaks. Energy leaks. Focus. The silent warrior eliminates fidget movements. He stands still. He sits still. He is still. Stillness is power. Movement is noise. Part 2. Identify the single most impactful variable. In any chaotic scene, there's one variable that matters most. The untrained person tries to process everything, and processes nothing. The silent warrior ignores 90% of the inputs. He finds the 10% that matters, and he focuses their dot in a firefight, the shooter's weapon dot in negotiation, the other person's fear dot in a crisis, the exit dot in a meeting, the decision maker dot find the leverage point. Focus there. Ignore everything else dot part 3. Narrow the gap between observation and execution. Most people observe, then think again, then worry, then hesitate, then act. The gap is too long. The silent warrior narrows the gap. Observe, decide, execute. No hesitation. No second guessing. No emotional debate. The gap is where fear lives. Close the gap. Kill the fear. You've seen this before. In every great performer who stayed calm while others panicked. Kobe Bryant. The 4 a.m. silence. Kobe didn't practice with noise. He practiced in silence, in the dark, alone. He trained his mind to focus without distraction. So when the crowd screamed, he didn't hear it. I've been here before. In my mind, thousands of times. Michael Jordan. The glass wall. Jordan could hear the crowd, could feel the pressure, could see the defense collapsing. He didn't react. He observed, and then he acted. I never worried about what I couldn't control. David Goggins, the observer. Goggins talks about watching his body suffer. From a distance, I see the pain. I acknowledge it, then I keep going. That's the glass wall. That's cold detachment. FBI negotiators. The emotional wall. FBI negotiators listen to hostage takers scream threats. They feel fear, they observe it. And then they speak calmly. Because they are behind the glass wall. You can build this wall. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You are not easily distracted. You are undisciplined. The phone buzzes. You react. The notification pings. You look. Someone speaks. You listen. You have no filter. No wall, no protection. And the world knows it. Advertisers know it. Algorithms know it. Manipulators know it. You are an open door. And everyone walks through. Here's what most men don't understand. Distraction is not neutral. Distraction is theft. Every time you react to something that doesn't matter, you are stealing from something that does. Your focus, your energy, your time, your mission. The enemy is not the notification. The enemy is your lack of a wall. The silent warrior builds the wall. Not because he's antisocial. Because he's on mission. And his mission is more important than your notification. Here's how you develop cold detachment in the observer mindset. 1. Build the glass wall. Practice the visualization. When chaos hits, imagine a thick glass wall between you and the event. You see everything. Nothing touches you. Practice this in small stresses, so it's automatic in big ones. 2. Practice calculated indifference. When the distraction arises, acknowledge it. Then choose not to engage. I see the notification. I choose to ignore it. I hear the noise. I choose to focus. This is not suppression. This is selection. 3. Eliminate. Fidget movements. Notice your micro movements. Tapping. Shifting. Looking around. Stop them. Be still. Stillness conserves energy. Stillness communicates power. 4. Identify the leverage point. In any situation. Ask, what is the single most impactful variable? Find it, focus there. Ignore the rest. 5. Close the gap. Observe, decide, execute. No hesitation. No second guessing. No emotional debate. The gap is where fear lives. Close the gap. 6. Train in chaos. You don't build the wall in silence. You build it in noise. Practice focusing when there are distractions. Practice stillness when there is chaos. Practice observing when there is pressure. Train in the conditions you'll face. You now understand the silent warrior mindset, cold detachment, the glass wall, calculated indifference, the deliberate strike. Not emotionless, effective, not numb, focused. Not ignoring chaos, observing it from behind a wall. From now on, when everything explodes, you will not explode with it. You will step behind the glass wall. You will observe the chaos as data. You will identify the leverage point. You will close the gap between seeing and acting. And while everyone else is reacting, you will be executing, not because you're not feeling the pressure, because you've built a wall, and behind that wall, you are silent, you are still, you are deadly. Eyes on target, discipline forever.